Oh, sorry guys, I didn't realise you were watching. I was just in the ascension process there. Sorry about that. Anyway, how are you guys doing? It's been a while. Unfortunately, I have received another strike from the kind people over at YouTube, so I was unable to upload. And with that being said, I would highly recommend if you go to my other platforms, which are in the link, in the description below, and subscribe to those if you haven't already, because I never know how long I'm going to be on here for. So that was interesting. And of course, the best place to find me is my website as well, transcendingtimes.org. I've got all my books, all the sessions that I offer there, and a lot more information. So you can check that out. But today I'm back with another New Age review video. It's been a while. I put a post out on the community tab a few weeks back just asking for suggestions. It's much easier to get you guys to watch these people so I don't have to, and then I just review them as and when they come in. But this guy I'm going to review today, he's very highly requested. Aaron Abke, his name is. I'd never heard of him. But he's another huge one. He's got 186,000 subscribers. No doubt he's had his channel up for about 5 minutes to get to that amount, talking about the things that he talks about. The video in and of itself is BS just by the title. It's about channeling. If you've been watching my channel long enough, you'll know that I don't recommend channeling at all. People that are channeling entities are even if they think they're of the light, they're just masquerading, they're deceiving. Angels, Arcturians, Pleiadians, this kind of thing, Ra. These are all just entities. So the quicker we can just drop channeling, the better. So I just wanted to make that point before we get into it. But we're going to have a listen to what this guy has to say and see what comes up. So excuse the ads, guys. I can't do anything about those. So.
Baby! No shot. All day, every day. All day, every day. We don't lose.
Okay, so straight away we've got the one eye symbol. We know what the one eye means. They often use that for negative. It can be used for positive as well, so I'm not saying that he's part of the Illuminati or anything like that, but the eye to the subconscious mind is very alluring, it's very appealing, and that's why the dark side uses it. Maybe this guy is the dark side, he's channeling, so he's working with dark energies anyway. So straight off the bat, just like Oracle Girl, we see the one eye there with all the sacred geometry, more BS.
Namaste.
Oh my God. Namaste. Isn't that like got a demonic connotation or something? They all say that. Put in the comments below. I've heard things that it means like really nasty stuff. So, but he's doing the whole New Age pose with the Namaste.
And welcome back to the channel. Today we're finishing up our series on the 3 states of mastery, as we discuss the third and highest state of mastery, which I call the channeling state. And as with the previous 2 states of mastery, this is also a state that one can learn to access for short intervals of time, as well as a level of spiritual intelligence that one can abide.
So yeah, here we've got the chakras, the good old chakras. The chakras just being an artificial implant, an etheric implant that entities use to lock into our energy field, siphon our energy, and loop negative inorganic mind loops all day in our heads. Interestingly, they use the rainbow colours with the chakras. Again, the rainbow to the subconscious is very appealing, very alluring. We see that used with LGBT stuff and all that jazz. So it's all packaged in that kind of subtle Satanism.
In permanently through enough spiritual discipline. And because this is the highest state of mastery achievable, it has a lot to show us about the nature of consciousness, of energy, and spiritual ascension. So please join me for this 8th episode of Spiritual Intelligence as we discuss the 3rd state of mastery, known as the channeling state.
Great. So, I mean, obviously, this guy, it's full of BS. He's talking, not only is he talking about channeling, but he's talking about ascension as well. This whole idea that you can just, think happy thoughts, or what he's promoting here is get to a certain level out of your head and then you somehow escape this matrix.
In order to understand what the channeling state is and how it happens, we need to have a better idea of the singularity level of SQ that it correlates with. And so just like the previous 2 states of mastery, the channeling state manifests automatically once one raises their level of spiritual intelligence.
I thought he was going to say raise their vibration then. But yeah, well, she's getting right out of her body there.
To the crown chakra level.
Of course.
And this is where one has opened the gateway to intelligent infinity.
Yeah, open the gateway to a whole load of entities and etheric interference. See, this is the thing. These things are promoted getting out of yourself, and you're going into the astral, which is a false sense of what reality really is. I made a video it's called Why God is a Demon. No, it's called, the pineal gland. The pineal gland being an implant, in the fact that there's this whole movement to detox your pineal so you can go into the astral realm. The astral realm is just another layer of this matrix. It's not what we really are, what we can really tune into and connect to. We go way, way beyond that. The astral realm, that's where all the astral cockroaches are, your reptilians, your greys, your draconians, your demiurge. So when you're going into the astral or going out of body here, that's literally what they're promoting.
And Ra says a number of interesting things about this gateway in the Law of One. One of which is that a being who has opened this gateway can basically walk the universe with unfettered tread. Another interesting thing they say is that
See, they make it so alluring, don't they? You can tell why people get hooked in on this. They have to give you all this sweet BS to get people hooked in.
The channeling sessions with Carla, that they would enter the instrument's body through the back upper region of the top of the head, which is right where the crown chakra sits, above the spinal column. So the reasons why the channeling state correlates to the crown chakra level of SQ are fairly obvious. When the crown chakra is fully opened, it begins to bathe the brain in pure cosmic energy, gifting the being with...
Bathing the brain with cosmic energy. Over the Rainbow Bridge. I wonder how Jerry Sargent Rainbow Bridge is getting on. I wonder if he's still sitting on that. I love that dude. That was great reviewing that one.
Spiritual genius and profound psychic connection to the universe. And this is because the crown chakra only opens to intelligent infinity, or the universal mind, once the lower 6 chakras have been fully activated and evenly balanced.
Yeah, guys, just keep balancing your chakras and then you'll reach universal cosmic intelligence. That sounds like that's going to go well. The everlasting cycle of balancing one's chakras. If you're new to this, I've done a whole series on chakra removal, what chakras really are. I mean, how long do we have to keep balancing these things for before they actually get balanced?
Making the entity a kind of living channel for divine intelligence.
It's very robotic. I find these people, they lack like charisma. They're very like him, Oracle Girl, or they're very fake with their charisma. Very kind of autonomous, basically.
And this is the singularity state, the level of the great avatars such as Christ, the Buddha, Krishna.
These will all be masquerading as entities, Hindu gods, Jesus. So when people are doing what he says and connecting with what they think are these are literally, they'll be taken off the back end somewhere. It's actually a really good video to expose this because, obviously people want to believe that these religious gods are on our side. They're just posers. That's all they are.
Shiva, Zoroaster, Ma Avatar Babaji.
When I do clearing sessions, these show up a lot. Hindu gods, Shiva, see them an awful lot. They probably won't like me for this. I'll probably get sleep paralysis tonight.
And countless others.
They hate being exposed.
Throughout history. We know that the crown chakra actually rests about 2 to 3 inches above the top of the head, where the toroidal field intersects and begins to enter the Sushumna channel, or the spinal column. And so this singularity level has been
Don't tell me we're going to have a Kundalini Awakening.
Presented in ancient paintings and depictions of saints and angels with golden halos above the top of the head, signifying the state of radiant inner illumination. And these are beings that have miracles manifesting around them without any perceivable effort on their behalf. And
notice it's more promotion of getting out of body rather than going in. I just did an interview with Billy Watson about how they, not just in these new age spiritual terms, but just in society in general, all the distractions, the entertainment, the sport, the TV, it's all about going out, going out, going out. It's never about going in, if you notice that.
Everything that they speak is incredibly profound and full of divine wisdom.
It's not
almost as if that they are channeling all the time. This is why the words and teachings of these beings almost always last the test of time. And even today, we still marvel at the brilliance of these beings.
Yeah, because we're in a really good state, aren't we, as a species? We're completely liberated, we're completely free, we're living our best lives. And obviously that information has really helped us. So thank you to all these channeled gods. Thank you for leading us to this wonderful place that we're in now. This is the thing. I get this a lot. People, they're like, yeah, but chakras are old and this is old and we've been doing this for ages. And yet, all right, but where are we right now as a species? We're not in a very good state. So we need to be questioning everything right now. But people want to be stuck in these old belief these belief systems. Just because they're old doesn't necessarily mean they're good or true or beneficial. In fact, most of them probably are not. Tradition's a big lie.
Who lived thousands of years ago in most cases. These are beings who pierced the third eye and crown level, awakening the Kundalini energy.
There we go. Of course. Kundalini serpent energy. When you have your Kundalini awakening, these entities are feeding on that energy. It can be really traumatic process. But of course, you've got all these new agers desperate for a Kundalini awakening.
Which allowed them to have such supernatural power.
As usual, the building started. You can't write this. I swear you cannot write this. Just before, the dog started barking next door. Now he started banging. So I do apologise once again for any outside interference.
Power and knowledge. They are essentially walking fourth density beings living in a third density body. They represent the highest level of purification possible for a human.
How do they know that? It's like Oracle Girl. Oracle Girl says that just by watching her, she activates your heart. There's people that can influence energy. I do it myself in sessions, but it's this whole ego thing about it, where there's just, there's certain people that walk the earth that, again, what that does is it puts us down, right? It makes us think, oh, well, I'm just a mere mortal. I'm not a god, or not that we're gods, not that anyone really is a god, but I'm not, I don't have my own power. I don't have my own gifts. Something out there is more gifted than me, It's very subtle. All these things are very subtle.
Or as Ra calls it in the Law of One, crystallization. So how does one achieve such a high level of...
Tell me, Aaron, How do I achieve such a high level? Please tell me. Have you achieved that high level? Have you ascended?
Spiritual intelligence. How is the singularity level reached within a human lifetime? The singularity level is reached when one has transcended every possible aspect of third density consciousness.
It's interesting that he's calling it singularity. You know, what else is called the singularity now? It's the AI cloud. That's called the singularity. This is where technology is now talking to each other, learning off each other, machine learning. It's a very interesting term to use, this idea of singularity. Almost seems like it could be planned if I wasn't a conspiracy theorist.
But this begs the question, what is transcendence? What does it mean to transcend something? We typically think of the word transcendence as overcoming something, but it's more accurately an unbecoming of something. It is an inward movement towards the unblemished true nature. And so this is why the practice of meditation consists of drawing one's attention.
Of course, you have to meditate to do anything in the New Age world. Again, what I'm hearing, and this is consistent with nearly all the New Ages I review, is a lot's being said, but not a lot of it's kind of making any sense or resonating at any level. But yeah, meditation as well. I'm going to do specific videos around meditation. You know, again, this is this idea of getting outside of yourself, opening up. What are you opening up to? I've met people, I've met New Agers down the years, they meditate like for hours during the day, and you talk to them and it's like the lights are on but no one's home. I know people that have ended up in a mental hospital because they were going on these retreats for weeks and weeks and weeks, these silent meditation retreats, opening themselves up. You know, there is a dark side to it. There really is a dark side to it, and it's not being spoken about.
Attention inwards, past the outer layers of the conscious mind and into the deep mind. So we could say that in the meditative state, one has transcended the conscious mind.
I just see this and it makes me want to vomit and cringe just like that. I don't know, I just got I just can't stand the New Age so much. It just reminds me of like bypassing and falseness and fakeness and yeah.
Mind. At the core of every soul is the one infinite creator in all of its totality. And so the more that we move inwards, the more that we polarize spiritually.
I tend to agree with that. Credit where it's due. Is basically saying that we have a God force within. I've done a video called God Force Within. So that could be the nugget of truth within all the other BS. See, he's hooking you into a very important truth there, but the outside layers are hooking you into layers of deception.
And access more of the love light and light love that exists within us.
My eyes are going to roll in the back of my head.
So the process of transcending consists in allowing the attention to travel systematically from the grossest aspects of mind to the subtlest.
There we go, the demonization of mind. It's all in here. It's all in here. They demonize the mind because they don't want you to discern. They don't want you to think. So if you question anything that they say, or you challenge anything they say, they'll tell you that you're stuck in the mind or the ego.
And eventually, beyond the mind altogether. Or in fewer words, transcendence is the passage of attention from the outermost layer of mind to the innermost layer of all, which is the self. As we continue to transcend subtler and subtler layers of the mind, this directly translates to our experience of the world, because we are a microcosm of the macrocosm.
Oh, this is so robotic. How do these people have so many subscribers? There's no influx in his voice. It's like he's reading from a script, or it's some kind of AI program. Maybe he's AI. I'm pretty sure Oracle Girl's AI. I think this dude could be AI as well. Seems very autonomous, like a drone.
So when we transcend a certain layer of our own mind, we simultaneously transcend the corresponding layer of reality. We penetrate deeper through the illusion of separation until eventually consciousness is left alone with.
The other thing as well with these people is I don't get much like heart energy. I don't get like feels, like feels. There's just like nothing. It's either really distorted or like nothing. Like him, Oracle Girl, there's like nothing. People like Ralph Smart, Magenta, it's like off, right? But yeah, it's weird. It's weird, man.
Nothing left to experience but itself. And this is the singularity state. When the natural silence of the unmanifest self is experienced constantly alongside the activity
balance those chakras
of the manifest self, and no difference between the two is perceived any longer. Now that we understand how consciousness transcends illusions,
do we? I don't understand the frigging word that he's just said. None of it's just made any sense to me. What about you guys? What do you think? a load of mumbo jumbo thrown together.
Let's find a better definition for consciousness as well. We're going to talk more about the role and function of the nervous system in reaching these higher levels of SQ in coming episodes. But for now, it's just important to understand the role that the nervous system plays for consciousness itself. So here's my personal definition. Consciousness is the reflection of the absolute within a given nervous system. Without a nervous system, the body's just an inanimate lump of flesh. The nervous system is sort of the conduit or interface between the subtle body and the physical body that allows the physical body to be animated with the life force of
I love you,
consciousness.
Aaron, but dude.
The human nervous system consists of the 7 energy centers and 72,000 nadis, which feed all of the neurons and synapses of the physical body. When we observe a neuron under a microscope, we are watching the subtle body feeding its prana into the physical body's neurology and animating it with life.
It is. There is truth in this. The nervous system is really important, and actually, entities will specifically target the nervous system. When I'm clearing people, there's always a lot of entity interference and different portals and stuff in the nervous system. So it is obviously very important, and I do believe it's kind of like it does interface with consciousness, so to speak. It's like when you're feeling a person's energy, it kind of interacts with that, I think, somehow.
So we can see that in the same way that our neurons work together to give us life and experience, each one of us is like an individual neuron of the universe. We are the universe becoming conscious of itself, which is why we say that when we wake up, the whole universe wakes up. As the Buddha famously said, when I awakened, the whole world awakened with me. In the same way that Ra teaches our energy centers must be cleansed and balanced, we also do that on behalf of the universe as well. So when any individual becomes completely crystallized, purified of all...
Crystallized. We're like walking crystals.
...laws, they reach the singularity level and access the channeling state permanently. A channeler, however, has to go through this process of transcendence in a different way. When someone channels, they are moving inwards through
all this sacred geometry is giving me bad vibes.
the layers of the conscious mind and attempting to achieve a trance state. And so although we live at much lower levels of frequency from higher density beings, we can use the trance state to communicate with them or channel them. From the trance state, we can raise our energy level much higher so that higher density beings can lower their energy level to meet us at the same frequency. This is the...
Does that work if you just solely raise your vibration? But yeah, again, guys, he's just talking about getting out of your body, connecting to stuff that you don't know what it is. It's telling you it's good. It's telling you that this is the truth. And these people just believe it because they just feel like they're just little humans. They can't know anything, and these entities have all the answers.
The art of channeling. The channeling state is the highest state of mastery because it requires that one has mastered their masculine and feminine energies, because one must use both sides of the brain in order to channel. The right side of the brain is the...
Yeah, this is the other thing that's off at the moment about masculine and feminine energies. And I've spoken about this in a couple of videos. This whole idea as a male, you've got to like balance your feminine side, and the feminine females have got to become more masculine. And this is a problem in society. They promote this a lot in the New Age, balancing the masculine and feminine. One of the biggest issues we face as a society is that the feminine energy has been wiped out from the females, and they're becoming more masculine, and the male energy is being wiped out, and males are becoming more feminine. And there's a lot of disparity going on, and of course, if you're going to try and take down a society, you're going to take out the males, because male energy is about action, it's about protection, it's about providing. But also they're trying to take down the feminine side, which is the nurturing, the creativity, the care, the love, right? So on both aspects, they're trying to destroy both of them. And the New Age is playing into that. And actually, this is a video that I was going to do and probably will do, is that if you experience any of these New Age stuff, you'll find that a lot of the guys there are very, very feminine. Plus, you throw into that veganism, which is soy and all of that, the estrogen and all of that stuff. So the New Age is also causing or playing into the distortion of the masculine and the feminine. I don't think that we necessarily have to balance the two. I think that we have to remember what it means to be a man and what it means to be a female, and start embodying that more. Because those roles, they worked for a long, long time, and they worked really well. And now all of a sudden we're trying to change things and look at what we've got.
The feminine energy, to be receptive to what's coming in. And the left side of the brain is the masculine energy, to organize and translate all that information into words and sentences. So we've said that the three states of mastery are really just extensions of one another, meaning that until you've entered mind-heart coherence, you can't access the flow state. And
it's so egoic as well, isn't it? Mastery. It's like, I'm a Reiki master. It's like this kind of like authoritarian tone to it. Like, I'm better than you. I'm master. I've achieved mastery. This is how they talk to you as well when they disagree with you. It's like, oh, well, one day, maybe you'll understand. Maybe you'll achieve this level of consciousness. It's very egoic, spiritual ego with the whole terminology.
Until you've entered the flow state, you cannot access the channeling state. So the flow state leads into the channeling state, because once the body loses all sense of being separate, it will eventually translate to the mind. And once the mind loses all sense of separation, you are in the channeling state. You have become the field of consciousness and are now...
Does anyone know what he's saying, really? This reminds me of Elizabeth April. I went through the whole video. I couldn't tell you what she was trying to tell you. It was just buzzwords thrown together.
Ready for communication. And while this is a natural and normal state for higher density beings, it is a rare commodity, a rare achievement for third density beings. So there are different levels of channeling based upon the levels of mind transcendence that the person channeling is able to access. Esther Hicks, who...
Esther Hicks. Yeah, our friend Esther Hicks, who was promoting for people to take the poke. Yes, we remember her well in the spiritual community. What a service she's provided. Just get in the vortex. Get in the vortex and you will manifest everything you ever want.
Who channels Abraham, uses lucid channeling. Her eyes...
yeah, Luciferian.
Eyes are open, and she's walking around the stage and engaging with people and the physical world. Because this is a very low level of transcendence, she can only receive a very wide-band channel. Abraham, the entity she channels, is sending her impressions, ideas, and feelings, which Esther translates in her own personal way. Darylanka, who channels...
Be straight with me, guys. Put it in the comments below. Who, at one point in their journey, listened to Esther Hicks and tried to get into the vortex? I bet you did. I bet you did. Let me know in the comments below. I want to know. Don't be shy. We've all been blinded by the false light at some point.
Channels Bashar practices lucid trance channeling. He closes his eyes so as to transcend the surface levels of mind.
This guy's a clown as well.
And then begins a few minutes of focused breath work to deepen into trance. And by going deeper into trance than Esther Hicks does, he is able to receive a medium band channel where Bashar sends him calculated information.
You don't need to do anything. Just be happy. Just follow your bliss. Follow your bliss. Yes, follow your bliss. Yes. Keep your vibration high and you will live in a better world. Yeah.
Ideas and imagery, which Daryl translates while being in a deep flow state. But to his own admission, he is still conscious and aware of everything that Bashar is.
Here's another one. He's got that. His energy's off. I saw an actual interview that he did, and wow, he's off, man. His interview's bad. His energy's off.
Speaking. Finally, we have full trance channeling, which is how Jane Roberts received the Seth contact, and how Carla Ruckart received the Ra contact. Carla would put herself completely into a trance state, where she would be unaware of anything that transpired during the channeling session. Don Elkins actually asks Ra in one of the earlier sessions if it would be okay if Carla read some of the
Ra is an entity, Egyptian goddess, Egyptian gods, entities.
Sessions they had done so far, so they could show her how truly remarkable
master manipulators
these transmissions were. And Ra states that the entity's mind complex was with them during the transmissions, so she was completely unconscious during the sessions, and therefore it wouldn't affect the contact if she read the material. Ra also stated that they are a very difficult contact to make, because they send a very narrow band frequency that can only be channeled in a full trance state.
Oh shit! Yeah, you've got to achieve mastery, right? You've got to jump through hoops before you do all of this, before you get access to the information.
So this gives you an idea for why channel works that are done in the full trance state are so much more profound. Ra actually controlled Carla's vocal cords and spoke through her slowly.
Yeah, I mean that's like demonic possession. Basically, that's what it is. But they've glossed it over and fluffed it up, and they call it channeling.
And carefully, so that the contact was direct, word-for-word communication from Ra.
How often have you heard these exorcisms where the person's voice has changed, even their face has changed? Their faces can contort, and this is what's happening. That these people, these clowns, think that they're channeling something good and working with something good,
with no translator in between. And this is why, in my opinion, the Ra material stands apart from all other channeled works in its depth, in its complexity, and in its uniqueness. But there's also other versions of channeling, like automatic writing, which Helen Schuckman used to channel A Course in Miracles over a 7-year period. This technique allows
A Course in Bullshit.
For pen and paper to activate the flow state, while the mind begins to become the passive bystander and slowly enters the channeling state.
See, I like to journal, but that's very different to what they're talking about here. Again, they're trying to, the intention, it's all about the intention. The intention is to communicate with something outside, and then that would flow through the pen. Well, it's the same thing. It's channeling entities.
Now that we've covered the 3 states of mastery, in the next episode we're going to dive into a foundational teaching from the Upanishads, which I hinted at in the first episode, called the 4 bodies of consciousness. These 4 bodies are basically the 4 modes of perception that we move through in what I call the ascension spiral, which will help us to understand the exact...
Can't we just get on the rainbow bridge? Isn't that a lot easier than the ascension spiral? I prefer the rainbow bridge.
Process of spiritual transcendence and spiritual ascension. So I want to thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next episode.
No, you won't. Guys, I'm going to cut it short there. I don't know what the rest of the 3 minutes is. Probably advertising or something. But yeah, I mean, what can you say? It's channeling, chakras, ascension. It was all there. Very cleverly packaged up. You blink and you miss it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that one, guys. So if you're new here, don't forget, like, subscribe. Like I say, guys, check my other channels out on the other platforms, and my website transcendingtimes.org, where you can find all my other work. And I'll see you on the next one. So thanks for watching. Take care.